reflection in the whirlwind. I was dazzled, blinded by reality of daily facing struggle, oblivious to.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are on this beautiful Friday. I want to say thank you for being a part of this journey. I am Antoinette Marie Williams of Antoinette Marie Speaks, and I wanted to just say, hey, y'all, how are you doing? You have entered into this Friday's Power of Love series. And guess what? This is the finale. This is the last day of our Power of Love series. And I am so excited today to be speaking with you, to have you on board. Let me put my readers on. That's better. I can see a little bit better now. I'm so excited to have you on today. And so I know that some of you may be feeding your kiddos, or you may be sitting with your loved one. Listen, take some time, relax, do whatever you got to do. Put your feet up, put your arm around him or her, and we're going to enter into this fantastic room called the Power of Love. And I am so very excited. I'm going to tag a couple of people. I'm so very excited about today and what's happening, because we have an awesome dynamic couple that's coming on. They're in the green room right now, probably watching right now, and I'm very excited about it. So one of the things that I had made a request was for individuals, if you wanted to ask a question of our special guest, which is Mr. Tommie and Sarah Pernell, who have been married 46 years, y'all. 46 years. That's a long darn time. That's a long darn time. And so I'm so excited because we're going to ask them everything. And so I thought that people would just ask maybe a couple of questions, would post them in the comment. Lean in. Let me tell you what happened. Nobody posted any questions in the comments, but guess what happened? They post questions in my personal DM. Yes, they did. Yes, y'all did. Y'all know y'all did. And baby, let me tell you, these are some scrumptious questions. So I want us to get into what's happening right now. I need to forward this over. So here's the other thing. You still have time. If you have questions that you want to ask that have just literally been burning in you, if this couple don't have the answers, I don't know if there is an answer. They don't have the answer. I don't know if there is an answer. So I want to say, get your pen, get your paper, get your tablet, get your notebook. Come on in the room. I see we have a couple of people already. Come on up in the room, and we're going to sit at this table, because there are going to be some outstanding nuggets that are going to be released from this table. And if I were you, I would definitely have my plate right there. Like, just give it to me. Just give it to me. That's what I would be doing, because that's what I'm going to do. Listen, you cannot be a steward that's doing really great things if you don't have your notebook. Listen, I got my notebook. I got questions too. Y'all see all these questions? I got some questions. All right, so let me introduce you. And I know this is a really great series that we're having, because I've gotten so many people that have said, listen, that helped me. Oh, I didn't think about it that way. So I'm really excited about this. I am going to, so give me 1 second. I am going to do my brand one more time, and we're going to get started. I'm giving you a little bit of time. You got 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
inspiration in the whirlwind. I was tussled, blinded by reality of daily facing struggle, oblivious to.
So we're back. We are back. All right. So here we go. Listen. So I present to you Mr. Tommie and Sarah Pernell. Now, I'm going to already put the disclosure out there. These are my special guests. They're my special guests. This is my uncle and this is my aunt. And I think it's always important to be very transparent with my audience. And so that's what I wanted to do. So let me give you a little bit of history, right? So this couple has been married 46 years. Mr. Tommie has been in the United States Army for 31 years. He served in the United States Army for 31 years. He also, so that means he's retired, right? So he also retired from the U.S. Department of Treasury. Hold on, let me get the math right. Okay, let me see. 31 plus 34, that's like 65. And he also, as of late, has been spending quality time as a teacher, teaching and influencing children that have special challenges, right? That's good. So I'm just trying to look at the coin though. 31 in the Army and 34 in the U.S. Department of Treasury. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. That's a big bag. Okay, next. Y'all know we keep that 100%. And then my Aunt Sarah she is the director and president of Central Texas Tennis Association. Now, my Aunt Sarah can definitely play some tennis, right? And then, of course, they are from the greatest state ever, the most dynamic, the most fabulous, none other than Alabama. Yay! Hey, Tracy. Hey, Wesley. Thank you for joining me on today. So I'm getting ready to bring them in from the green room. We're ready. Here we go. Good evening.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
Pretty
Doing
good.
great.
Good. I want to just say thank you for saying yes to this interview. It was very interesting process of making sure that I had individuals on the show that were married or currently are married, and then wanting to see individual relationships that had expansion. And so you are the finale on Antoinette Marie Speaks. And so I want to say thank you. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
You are very welcome. So we're going to just get into it right now because
Let's do this.
I had so many questions. Let me go. And so as I had said on the intro, I'd asked for people, I said, just send me comments, your questions in my comments. And people didn't want to do that because after I saw the questions, I see why they did not. So people DM'd me personally these questions. And so we're going to just get right into it. So first question, we'll build up to the greater ones. But first question, tell us, how did you meet?
I always get it wrong, so I'm just going to let him tell you.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm long-winded, so I'm going to try.
Yes, please. This is a 45-minute show.
Okay, I'm going to cut a few corners.
Okay.
We were on campus together, and I did not know her, and she was pointed out to me by a friend.
Okay.
And he said, "Don't waste your time because you can't talk to her." And I said, "Well, maybe others couldn't, but this is Tommie."
Oh.
And so it was really a challenge to try to talk with her, and we went through a phase. When I did approach her, she embarrassed me, and so I pretty much got out of her way.
Okay.
It just so happened I was at the library one evening, which I did not go there too often, but I was, studying at the library one evening, and she walks behind me and says, "Well, look who's in the library." And my response was, "Well, I know you're not talking to me the way you shut me down, a couple of days ago." And so we started the conversation from that point, and within a few minutes, the librarian said the library is about to close, and I said to her, "If you don't mind, I'd like to walk you to your door." So I walked her home that night, and we've been best of friends ever since.
Oh
That's how I
my
got started.
goodness.
Out of a challenge.
Out of a challenge.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I love that story. So you said that you were on campus. What campus was this?
Where at the time we were attending Tuskegee Institute, which is now known as Tuskegee University.
So HBCU, currently now
HBCU.
it's HBCU. Wow, wonderful. So you, Miss Sarah, you were just like, listen, I guess I have a conversation with you. So when he approached you, like what kind of went through your mind? Like, were you ready for a relationship? Did you see sparks that flew, or what happened?
No, none of that. I was just a little country girl from Alabama, not knowing anything, just happened to be out the house and someplace else. And
okay,
and I just wasn't one of those girls.
Gotcha.
And he was a frat. He was in a fraternity, so they're always looking for girls to hit on. And
oh,
so.
Ooh, this is some real good tea. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love this. I love the realness, the transparency. So I guess we should just ask Uncle Tommie, what was the frat you was in? If you want to tell us.
Well, sure. The first black fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha.
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Right.
You gonna do the sign? You gonna do the?
I will say I'm not really active at this point. I don't.
Okay.
I outgrew the fraternity, to be honest with you, and I don't mind saying
that. Nice.
That's
a nice way.
Thank you. It was a phase I went through. I needed friends. I need to get some type of recognition while on campus. Coming from a little small town.
Yeah.
I don't need that anymore. I find all of my support systems from my family and friends and the things we do in the community. So I don't do Alpha Phi Alpha anymore.
That's all right. Well, we appreciate you being a part of when you were a part of it. And we also appreciate you for being a military veteran. We definitely appreciate you and so support you and thank you for your service, and your wife for her time helping you as well. So get down to the next question. Okay, so Sarah, tell us a little bit about, and it sounds strange me just calling you Sarah. How did you know that you were ready for marriage? How did you know?
That's another good question.
Yeah, that was a dare too.
That was a dare? Oh, tell us.
If I remember correctly, which I don't remember things all that well anymore, but if I remember correctly, I think I asked him to marry me, thinking that he was going to say no, and then I would have something to come back on him on. But he said, "Okay, let's do it." Then my mouth was open. So he asked me when. I said, "Let's do it tomorrow." So,
are you kidding?
Yeah, he didn't even have money to pay for the license, so I had to pay for that. Right? Didn't I pay for it?
Yeah, you paid for it, but
look at that.
There's a little correction that needs to be made.
Okay.
It wasn't tomorrow. I was at my apartment. She came and knocked on the door and said, and I'm like, well, what's going on? She said, "I want to get married." I said, okay, because we had already dropped hints about possibly getting married during the summer. And she said, I want to get married right now. I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, well, okay, let's go. Ooh. So it wasn't the next day. I actually got in my car, and I thought she was just bluffing.
We both was waiting for the other to bag out.
Yeah, I was. I get to a traffic light. I would stop and say, okay, are you serious about this? She says, yeah. I said, okay, let's try. So we actually drove to the courthouse, downtown courthouse. And one last time I said, are you serious about this? And she says, yes. I said, okay, well, let's go. So we go to the courthouse. And the clerk came and approached us and said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Well, I think we want to get married." She said, "You think?" And she said, "My wife says we want to get married." She said, "Well, that'll be $10." I said, "Oh, okay. I don't have any money, so we can't." And my wife says, "I have the $10." So she paid for it. She said, "Do you have a witness?" And I said, "Nope," thinking I could get out of it again. She said, "Well, I'll be your witness. Come on back here with me and let's go see the judge."
Wow.
Judge Preston Hornsby, and he asked the same questions and told us to raise our right hand, and we got married.
Are you kidding me?
We got married. Stepped outside the courtroom, and looked at my watch. I said, "My goodness, we're married, and I got a class that's starting in about 30 minutes." Yeah.
That is so great.
That's how we got married.
That is a fantastic story. So tell me, when's your anniversary?
We just celebrated October 17th.
October
17th. That was 46.
17th.
Yeah.
46 years. So let's scroll back a little bit. How long did you date before Sarah came and said, "Hey, you know what? I think you kind of cute. I just want to go ahead and make this official."
Well, it wasn't all that. It was skinny and Poe. I ain't gonna say poor Poe.
How long did you date?
He said a year, but I'm trying to recalculate that. I can't imagine just a year. Was it just a year?
I met her in January of 73.
Okay.
And we got married October of 74. You do the math.
Wow. He's right then.
Yep, he's right again.
Wow. I think this is so wonderful. I have never heard this story, probably because I never have asked. And we have several people on here that are our family members that are like, wow.
That started, right.
I think that is so beautiful. I think it's beautiful. And Sarah, you just knew what you wanted. Is that the reason why you were just like, I just know what I want? What made you just ask him?
Good question.
I actually was playing. I didn't think he was going to take me up on it at all.
Okay.
I just threw it out there, and then it would have given me something to fuss about or something, you know. But he surprised me. He shocked me, and there was no way getting out of it. So
he called your bluff.
He called my bluff. Yep.
Wow. So that is amazing. So on a bluff, and then 46 years and counting.
46 years and 3 kids.
46 years and 3 children. You are still going strong. That is so mighty. I tell you, I'm so proud to be your niece this night. I'm telling you, I did not know this story. Okay, let's get to the next question. Okay, so what has made your marriage most successful? What has made your marriage be most successful? What are particular attributes about your marriage that you say, this is why our marriage is pretty strong?
You got that?
Well, for me, it is a commitment, and also coming from a shattered family life, you know, being raised in a home where there was no father figure for the most part. I have 6 sisters, you know, so you know I really admire and love females, and so I certainly, and I always want to make my mother proud. So I've worked all my life. So I would like to think that the fact that we both had the work ethic, and we both you know, contributes to our marriage, and just the fact that I can speak for myself. I'm committed. I follow the scripture where it says, you know, husband, love your wife. Period.
Yeah.
That's not complicated. Just love her. And so I don't always agree with her.
Yeah.
There may be some things she's doing or saying that I don't like, but the question is, are you going to love your wife? And
yeah,
I plan to die with that by saying I yet love my wife. And so we just stuck it out. We want to see the betterment for us and for those around us. So really want the best for our children. And once again, those things that we saw as we were growing up in, you know, rural Alabama during some very harsh times in the early 60s. I certainly want to I want to walk away from that, learn from that, and grow from that. And once again, in everything I do, I always think of making my mother proud.
Wow, wonderful. So tell me this, how did you both, I'm sure that you have had some difficult times in your life, and your story is so, it's almost like fairy tale-y, actually. I love it. Somebody should maybe even do a Lifetime movie on that. If y'all are listening, Tyler Perry, you can make it happen, sir. Now, tell us a little bit about how did you deal, both of you, like how did you work through the difficult times? You have 3 children, you served this country, and in so many ways, how did you work through difficult times, and particularly, being in the United States Army for 31 years?
Well, let me clarify, because from the onset, with the U.S. Army, I was at the there's the Army, there's the National Guard, and then there's the reserves. I was in the reserves, so it didn't. So when I did 34 years with the U.S. Treasury, I was doing that while in the Army. So if you said earlier about doing the math, if you do the math, that puts me around 65 years. No, I didn't do those independently 65 years. Okay. Good question, though. I let my wife answer.
I forgot what the question was.
So how did you, Sarah, how did you, like, to be able to support him, and to be able to support, emotionally while he was in the reserves, and then he was also working for the Department of Treasury, that time span, that's a lot of years, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of years. How did you work through perhaps some of those difficult times in your marriage?
I think communication is the most important thing in any type of relationship, and even more important when you're husband and wife. We communicated. I didn't stop him from doing what he had the desire to do. He didn't stop me. I mean, we both supported each other on whatever it was we were doing. Even today, it's the same thing. I mean, I have things that I do he don't agree with, or places that I go he don't, necessarily agree with. But he know it makes me happy what I do, and what he does makes me happy. And so I don't want to stop him from enjoying the things that he enjoyed just because I don't like it. I mean, it's like football. He watched football 24/7. I can't stand to sit for 10 minutes watching football. That's too long. I mean, who want to sit there watching guys beat up on each other and touching all over each other? I don't, but he does. That's his thing. So when he want to do those kind of things, I go and do my thing. And whether that's inside the house or outside the house or wherever, we just support each other ideas and things that we each want to do. We're 2 separate people, and we have 2 separate things that we enjoy doing, but there's also a lot of things that we enjoy doing together in those things we do. But I think the best part, I think, would be communication. Without that, I mean, nothing is going to survive. Not even our relationship, and then kids.
Yeah.
I look at all the things my wife does, and she works endlessly in the community, working with, generally with the young children and senior citizens, and she has support groups. She has a food bank, and then she takes time for her tennis and working with young kids. I look at all of that as being a gift that my wife has from God, and even when there are times when I'm saying, maybe you should spend a little time here and quit going so much. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but yet there's no way I'm going to stand between her and her God. And so I support her, even though I don't necessarily agree with all that she does. And in addition to that, from the point where we got married, I recognize the fact that 2 people come together. I don't want her to lose her aspirations. I would never stand in the way of her aspirations, pretty much like she just said. If she got some things she want to do, just because we're married, I don't want our marriage to block that. I support her in that. And she supports me. And I don't watch football that much.
No.
Well,
he does work with friends all night. and I let him do that, So
You know what? This is so great, and I'm so glad that we have audience members that are chiming in right now, because that's actually one of the questions that someone DM'd me about. And actually, this was the question: did you have to sacrifice your individual selves for the marriage or for the union? And if so, how did you do that? And I think it's so important as married individuals that we don't lose
That's
ourselves
right.
into one another. And I've heard so many times where it's just like, okay, now you're married, now you're like robots. You're like a robot. You know,
Right.
it's almost like that Coming to America movie where it's just like Eddie Murphy asks, well, tell me, what are your aspirations? And she says, whatever you like. Every single time she was like, whatever you like. And she was like this robot. And I
Yeah.
think it's so important. And I so appreciate your honesty when
Right.
it comes to marriage, because people struggle with that. People struggle because they've
Right.
been taught that now when the two has become one flesh, if we even
Right.
that
Right.
thought that whatever he tells you to do, you do.
Right.
And no, you can't have a mind of your own. You have to put your career, your aspirations on the back burner. If not, you have to totally lose them, because now you belong to him, or
Right.
now you're in this
Right.
marriage. And I'm so glad that you spoke about that.
Right. No, that sounds like cruel and, you know, unusual punishment. That is not my idea of marriage. And you know, at times you look, if people know us, they would know we were married. We go in a lot of different directions, but there's always a coming back together, and I think that's
Yes.
important. So you know, no, I'm just the opposite about that, and she is too. My wife has never stood in my way and said, no, you can't do that. You know, so she supports what I do, and I, you know, candidly, I say that sometimes she does so much. I mean,
Mhm.
really, she does so much, and it does concern me. I'm more concerned about her health than
Mhm.
than what she's doing. I know what she's doing is very important,
Yeah.
but I'm more concerned about her health and the things she's putting out and her lack of rest.
Yeah.
But for me to stand in her way to block the things that she's been called to do, that would never happen.
That is so refreshing. So, if those of you that have just joined us on Antoinette Marie Speaks, my special guests today are Mr. Tommie Pernell and Mrs. Sarah Pernell, our power legacy couple that has been married for 46 years strong with 3 adult children. And dive back into this. So, my next question is, if you could speak to a couple that just got engaged in 2020, what would be one thing per individual? So you, Uncle Tommy, say, and then you, Uncle Tommy, what would you say to the male, Uncle Tommy, and what would you say, Aunt Sarah, to the female or to the woman about how to sustain and have a very strong and productive marriage? I'll start with you, Uncle Tommy.
I like the way these questions are because I didn't have a chance to think out answers. So I think that's the kind of answers that people need to hear, not something you've gotten in a book and studied to present. So to me, it's very important that you are equally yoked, and I mean that in a lot of regards. I mean, you may have your background, your roots in Christianity, and the person you're talking to may be an atheist. They may just the opposite. And I think you're setting yourself up for a lot of problems. So
Mm.
I think, and I think you should try to make sure that you're both equally yoked, and there's because that can be that can present some problems down the road. Um, and I would say to him, to that young man, you have to have the utmost respect for her. Somebody said, you see how a guy talks with his mother, and you get an idea of how you're going to talk to your daughter, who's trying
Mhm.
to marry her. So I would want to make sure that he has the utmost respect for women, for her, and that he's willing to be available 24/7 for her, for the provision that she presents before him, regardless of what they are. You know, someone to talk to, someone to lean upon, someone to provide support and guidance and shelter. And it's a partnership. So,
Mhm.
and make sure, and then so make sure the person you're talking with is willing to provide those things also. So I think when you bring all that together as a married couple, I think that's when you really got something. And as my wife said earlier, make sure you communicate. Don't be sitting there with your mouth all poked up, angry with me, and I don't know what's going on. Talk to me. Let's talk about it. I may not always agree with you, but we can at least get it out. Learn to air out those differences. Learn to talk to one another. Yes.
I love it. I love it. Aunt Sarah, what would you say to a young lady? He's went on bended knee. She is just enthroned in the aspect of being married. What would you say to her that would help her have a sustainable and longevity in her marriage?
I'm going to agree with what Tommie just said, first of all.
Mhm.
But the other thing that I would make sure that she understands that you can't look for someone else to make you happy. You got to
Mm.
make yourself happy first before you can make that man happy.
Come on,
Okay.
Aunt Sarah. Lord have
So,
mercy.
and once you can do that, then there isn't anything that can stop you. If you
Yeah.
want that man, if you want a happy marriage, you got it. You got it. But you got to make sure that you're okay first.
Yeah.
So,
That is wonderful. You know, one of the things, and I love that you said, Uncle Tommy, you said for the provisions
Yeah.
that she presents before you.
Yeah.
Explain, what does that mean?
Well, you know, we all have gifts. And so let's talk about some of the things she's going to bring to the marriage.
Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know, or you may end up marrying somebody who presents to you that I'm not able to do anything. I can't do anything. I just want to
Mhm.
get married. Well, you know, I think I would try to get him to find out why is it that you say you can't do anything? Because,
Mhm.
you know, each couple brings something to the table.
Yeah.
And otherwise, you really don't have a partnership.
Yes. That's really, I don't know if y'all are listening to this. I know that you are. And I want to say thank you to my Facebook followers. You guys are coming through here blazing like fire. It is so important for you to understand the concept of partnership, right? Partnership, two people, two individual people that are in the ship together. You don't have to be the same. You don't have to
That's right.
do the same. You don't
Right.
even have to like the same thing. My
That's
husband
right.
don't like coconut. My
That's right.
favorite cake is German chocolate. You know you can't have no good German chocolate cake without no coconut. He's just not gonna eat no German chocolate cake. And that's okay.
That's
I
right.
think that's the piece where sometimes I think back in ages, or for ages rather, just been taught this, like we are supposed to, male and female, just to be systematic. Like just be systematic. Whatever they say, it's whatever you do. And particularly when it comes to, the role of the woman, the role of
Right.
the wife. It's just like we are not subservient human beings.
No.
And
No.
so I want people to, to really get to the gist of that. And I love what Sarah said about, listen, you have to be happy in yourself first.
That's true.
And I say this all the time when it comes to relationships. I know people, there was a movie that I can't think of his, Tom Cruise was in, and he said to the young lady, "Oh my goodness, you complete me, baby. Let me tell you something. Listen. No, you don't. You don't complete me." And my husband and I, we literally had this conversation because I wanted to put it all out. Like, listen, I am already 100%. I'm already good. So, and you're already good. So when two fantastic, complete individuals come together,
Right.
sugar pie, that's going to be some good partnership. That's a great partnership. And you're not trying to force somebody based on what somebody else's ideology or methodology or theology is.
That's true. That's a good point.
This is how you're supposed to be, because
That's a good point.
that's what the Bible. Listen, y'all listen. You better know who you are first before you let somebody else that don't even live in your household tell you how you supposed to treat and be, and so on and so forth. Y'all know we keep it 100% here on Antoinette Marie Speaks. So let's go to our next question. Next question. Then we're going to have our lightning round. I'm so looking forward to the lightning round. Okay. So these are questions that individuals sent me virtually. First question. Hold on to your seatbelt. What do you do when your spouse has cheated or been unfaithful, and they say they still want to be in the marriage and that they still love you? What do you do? Baby, I told y'all these some real questions right here today. These are some real questions. I'm going to say, Uncle Tommie, that's your question first.
Why you should keep putting all the questions on me first?
I'm giving you the hard questions.
Okay, I love my wife. And so I guess when you're saying cheating, you're talking about infidelity, talking with more than talking, but
yes,
having established a relationship with someone else.
Yes, establishing a relationship, physical interactions with someone else. Yes.
Well, first of all, let's recognize the fact that that's tough. That's hard to forgive someone for. But I do know, I do know the scripture. I'm older now, so I do know the scripture, and that's a sin that if Christ can forgive us, then we should be able to forgive each other. For all sins except one, blasphemy. So having said that, I love my wife, and I'm committed to love her. That's my goal is to love her in everything I do. And so I'm big enough to say to you that I would forgive her if she approached me and I got the assuredness that she is completely sorrowful, and but she is worth keeping, and she wants to make the marriage work, and she, I guess with promises that the word promise seems to be too light, but that she can thoroughly convince me that that's one of those things she did, and she's past it, and now she wants to come back home. My door will be open for her.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, Aunt Sarah.
I'm thinking on that one. I've never thought about that, and I don't know honestly how I would react. I would like to think that I would be able to forgive him.
Sure.
I know I wouldn't forget about it. Would never forget about it. Probably would never let him forget it either. So that doesn't make for a good mix either. I really don't know.
That's a good question.
They say if you cheat once, you're gonna cheat again. I give you one. I give you what did I give you? An inch, you take a mile or something. What is it? A foot, something like that.
That's it. Inch, you take a mile.
So I don't know, Antoinette. That's a tough one. I would hope and pray that I would be able to forgive him, and it also depends on when it happened.
Okay.
Did it happen within the first 2 years of marriage? Did it happen after we've been married 30 years ago? I probably would forgive him because ain't nobody gonna want us anyway after that time. So we stuck with each other anyway. But it depends on when it happened. If it's early in the marriage and that happened.
It's a difficult question.
It is, and I like to think that I could say I would forgive him. but you just never know how you're gonna react when that happened to you. It's different when you're talking to someone else and it has happened to them.
Yeah.
You got all the answers in the world,
Right.
But when it comes to you and your mate, it's a difficult thing.
And if I might add, right now, as we're talking about it, there are no emotions here. But if that happened to you, there's gonna be some strong emotions. You're gonna be feeling some emotions, anger, you name it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there saying I would let her come back. Once you get the tangling and the wrestling with all those emotions, you may have a different answer. So it's impossible to answer that until it happens.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair answer, because I think a lot of times, as you so eloquently, said it, on Sarah, we can sit here and today and be like, yes, we know what, God said, and we should listen.
Exactly. Right.
You let her call my house. You call it my house if you want to. It just, listen. That's difficult. That's a difficult thing.
It's a different thing.
And I never thought about, even with what you said, on Sarah, about like the timing of that. I can see where, like, if you are a brand new, couple, and you're thinking you're 100% in, because that person may be 100% in. And then all of a sudden you find out, a year within your marriage, somebody has stepped out or cheated. That's a wow. Because then you go back into your mind, you start really processing, like, wait a minute, we were here, we were doing this. Oh, you lied. Oh, wait a minute, was I? That's a whole nother. That's like a rabbit hole you really don't want to go down. To go down. So I'm going to say to everybody that's watching, don't cheat. Period.
Right.
Now,
that's the best answer there.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. All right. So next question is.
And let she answer first.
Okay, I'm going to. This goes to you, Aunt Sarah. This person said, my wife is going through menopause. And at this particular time, we felt it was very important for us to have separate bedrooms. Is that the right thing to do? And then they said, FYI, she sweats out the sheets every single night from menopause symptoms. Am I doing the right thing?
Okay, now you said 2 separate bedrooms or 2 separate beds?
Well, they have two. Well, here he said 2 separate bedrooms, so they must have 2 separate beds.
Okay. I would say no. I would not want to have 2 separate rooms.
Okay.
What's the saying, for better or worse? Is that what it said? For better or for worse?
You didn't say better or worse with the other questions. So be consistent with those sayings.
Well, that's different. We were talking about a man, I don't know if I agree with the 2 separate bedrooms.
Okay.
If she's sweating like that,
it's practical to have 2 bedrooms. If she's sweating like that,
well, not necessarily 2 bedrooms. I mean, you can have 1 bedroom, but 2 beds, twin beds.
You can't get 2 beds in, like in our bedroom. You couldn't get 2 beds in it. I think that's
Yes,
pretty
you
typical.
could.
But I give her all the space she needs. And there's a little romance tied into having 2 bedrooms too.
Oh,
remember how?
Oh,
Yeah,
do tell. Hold up now.
No, my kids might be watching this.
Oh.
No, we ain't going down that road.
They grown.
You got adult children.
I don't care. They don't get too adult. No, they ain't going down that road.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this interview.
I don't think I would like the 2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Well, you were lady. Here's the question. The question is, how would you feel if you were doing all that sweating and the bed is wet and so forth? Wouldn't you want some space, and would you want me to sit there and drown in that bedroom?
Well, I mean, I do that now.
I have
You
never.
sweat all the time.
Well, no, she's talking about
Menopause.
I don't know what menopause is like. I haven't
right.
experienced.
I don't think my wife had menopause.
Yeah, if we did, I didn't know it. So
Okay.
But he sweats.
This is not about me. This is about a woman menopause. Put me in this. Don't put my business out there like that.
Don't put my business out in the street.
And I put up with it. So,
Oh, boy.
so I think he should be able to put up with my menopause sweat. So.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. All right. Let's go to the next question. Here's our next question from one of our viewers. When I married my wife, I told her that I did not want any more children. I already came into a marriage. This is my second marriage, and I already have 2 children. However, now she has changed her mind and has told me this week that she wants to have a baby. What do I do? She has 1 child from a previous relationship. What do I say? What do I do? This comes from a man's perspective. Oh, these are some good questions.
We kind of talked about that a little bit recently when we were talking about being a foster parent.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Like, she wants to have a child with her new husband. He's saying, I already have 2 children. We spoke about this before. We got married. We agreed. And now we're in the marriage. Now you want children. He does not. How do you handle that?
Well, they certainly need to sit down and talk, and more so than talking, need to sit down and listen to what the other one is saying. They really need to listen to what each are saying, and once you talk and weigh the pros and cons, hopefully they can be on the same sheet of music, whether it means having a child or not having it. But through that conversation, that listening and talking, they need to get on the same sheet of music.
So what happens? Let's say they can't get on the same sheet of music.
That's grounds for divorce. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, is that a deal breaker?
That's a deal breaker there.
Oh boy. I totally get it. That's a really, really great question. Somebody said,
but if you think about, okay, she's actually, he has a child, or she does.
He has 2 from a previous marriage, and she has 1 from a previous relationship.
Mm-hmm. So I can understand why she would want to have a baby with her husband. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that the other kids are less important. It just means that we're together now. We need to have our own child, a child of our own that we can call ours. I mean, they're all ours, but I mean, a child that I can say, you're his dad and I'm the mom. It's like playing house. I don't want to marry somebody that already has a house with his ex, and he's divorced from his wife, but he kept the house. I'm going to move into his house? I don't think so. So give me my house. Give me my house. So it's like saying, I love you. If you love me back, you would want to make me happy.
But when you all have discussed that thoroughly before saying I do,
things changes.
She changed her mind. Yeah, that's what he said on here. He said she's changed her mind.
And he should know. He should be expecting us to change our mind from time to time. I mean, that's a big one, but make me happy. Your job is to make me happy. That's gonna make me happy. Give me my baby. Let's do what it do.
I'm sticking with my. I think it's a good time to talk and listen. Both should listen.
Right, but so the question still would be, from your let's bring this back to you all. So if the situation was with you all, and so like what Aunt Sarah is saying, she was like, yeah, that's all good, we can talk, but at the end of the day, I still want that bambino. I want that baby. What are you gonna do?
I got military duty.
He's gonna give me that baby. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna give me that baby when it comes down to it.
Duty.
That's a duty. That's a duty.
That is a duty. That's a duty.
Get to working.
She's gonna give you a medal and everything.
That's right. That's right. Might give him 2.
I just love this conversation. I love it so much.
Oh, man.
All right. So here's the next question. What do you do? Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Okay, and I think you actually kind of answered this question. So the question reads, what do you do to find balance in retaining who you are as an individual? And how do you express your thought process to your wife about who you really are with without her wanting to hang out with you all the time? So I guess basically it's almost like what you said at the beginning, like
Mhm.
understanding that yes, you're married, but you're two
Right.
individuals. So just
Right.
speak a little bit about that because I think that this person just chimed in. If you could,
You,
Go right ahead.
she's talking about to you. It's a he.
that's to you, Uncle Tommy.
Well, in excuse me, in the best in a flourishing excuse me, thriving relationship, there's communication. It's open communication.
Mhm.
So I know even though you're doing things that you do individually, yet I'm aware of it, and you're bringing me up to date as to what's going on. I don't have to keep asking, you know. So because we're talking, and I'm sharing the same thing with you,
Mhm.
and I lost the question.
So that person is afraid that his wife might want to hang out more with him.
Oh, so you're trying
Yes,
to hang with the boys and stuff?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. And he wants his own time with his own friends to himself.
And he just needs to tell her that.
yeah.
Just
Explain
right
to
out
her, right?
front. Just tell
Explain
her
to her
that.
that you have time with you and your girls. Y'all do your thing too. So we're
Yeah,
just going out and play a little golf, and want to hang out and whatever
yeah,
guys do. And
yeah.
I'm coming back to you.
And I think that's key. I think it's all in communication, as one of my
Oh
listeners,
gosh,
Craig
yeah,
Wilson,
yeah,
stated it. It's really about communication because sometimes you'll have spouses that just are insecure
right,
about something. It may have nothing to do with that particular new relationship. It could be
right,
something that transpired in the past. But I think that there is a way, as my king comes through the house right now. But I think
right,
there is a way that you can let your spouse know, listen, sweetie, I love you so much. I
right.
need to have some time with my guys or with my girls. And I'm going to take care of you whenever I get back. Don't worry about it,
Hello,
girl. I got you. Don't worry about it. So
right,
then she like, okay, I'll holler. There's a
Mhm.
way that you can
right,
reassure your spouse on, listen, I know that this may be something that you might be going through. However, this is also what I need. So it's almost like what you said before. You cannot lose yourself into your spouse. And
right,
then you're just like, you don't even know who you are as an individual.
right.
So I really, really want people to get that and to really understand and really to understand that. So we got another question that just came in hot off the presses. Right? Question is this: how do you keep the romance and fire burning after so many years? And we want specifics.
I'm listening to this too. I'm listening to this.
You have to make them wait.
Oh,
You have to make them wait.
Make them wait. Yeah, you don't just don't get it whenever you want it. You just, make them wait.
What does
Make them
that
wait.
mean? What does that look like?
it
Um,
don't look good. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing good about it.
So, well, tell us, like, what does that look like? If somebody is married and they want to keep that romance and fire burning and all of that, so how do you do that?
role play.
Oh, I love it. I love that answer. I love that answer. I agree. Go ahead, Uncle Tommy. You got to say one thing.
Huh?
Really?
What's
How do
that?
you how do you keep the romance and the fire burning in your marriage?
I tell you how you keep it burning by putting her first and putting him first. That's how you keep it. That's how you keep the romance going. Put him first.
Put him first or
Put
put
her
her first?
first, put her first, and she puts him first. In front of all the
Wonderful.
things you do, you that romance should be on the top of that list.
But
Yes.
as you get
Don't
busy, as you
Yeah.
get busy,
okay.
a lot of things are going on, and you're tired.
You're getting to the real
Yeah,
now.
you get to the real once a month. It's good. I mean,
No.
it depends on your man. You know your man. You know how you
No, you
keep it.
don't know your man.
Oh,
You think you know your man. You don't know your man.
Aunt Sarah
No.
said, "Listen, I know how my
No.
man get down."
No, I would I would say to any young man, young in marriage or later, let that woman feel like she is the queen. Make her feel like she's the queen, and she in turn will make you feel like you're a king. That's the way it's
Yes.
supposed to work. Don't
Yes.
always work that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
I totally agree with that because I believe that we are the epitome of love. So it goes back to what you both said about, having your own individuality and knowing
Yes.
that, listen, I'm not expecting for you to make me happy. I came to the relationship really content. And if not, even if that doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't have some issues, but I'm not expecting. I can't put that on you to make me happy, quote happy, or so on and so forth. And I believe that human beings have, as God has designed us, we are the display or the epitome of love. And so if you're
That's
doing what
right.
you need to do to love yourself and then also love your spouse, then who could ask for anything more? And I always say, love is an action. Love is
Yes, it
not
is.
just saying, "Oh, I love you."
Right.
Listen, you gonna have to do something with that.
Right.
Love is an action. It's not
Yes,
just
it
what you
is.
say, but it's also what you do.
Thank
And
you.
I think, listen, you got to go
good.
home with. So let me. So we got another question. Here's the question: what is your definition of love when you think of each other? What is your definition
Mm.
of love? Oh, this is a good question. I tell you, what is your definition of love when you think of one another? Hmm.
Hmm. I would
I
step in front of a car for this man and wouldn't give it
nice.
a second thought.
Oh,
Notice I
come.
said a car, not a truck or a train. I may survive that car.
You were doing so good, Aunt
I know
Sarah.
I was. And I had to mess
So
it up.
good. All right. So, Uncle Tommy, what is your definition of love whenever you think of your wife, your queen, the woman that has bore your three children, who you've been committed to in a great partnership for 46 years?
Right. When when uh, when she hurts, I hurt even more uh,
Mm,
because I take it upon myself. It's my responsibility to make sure that the things that she need, if I'm able to provide, I'm going to provide, uh,
mm,
and the things that she won't, I'm not going to even try to give her all her wants, but I'm going to give her a large measure of her wants. But those
mm.
needs, I'm going to try to fulfill them. We're sociable animals, and there's certain things we can do to fulfill and supply, if you will. I know you said you got to have your own happiness. No, there's some things I can do to try to help you and assist you. Otherwise, why do we get married if you don't need me? Um,
Mm,
so I try to have all those things for her, and I know her well enough to know the things that she went through growing up, and I never want her. I want her to feel like she's a queen, and
yeah,
that to me is the love I have for my wife.
wonderful. I love it. I love it. Next question, okay? And we are actually past an hour. We're
Oh,
right
let's just
literally.
keep talking.
Okay, let's go. Next question. So you heard a lot about love languages, and there are six, actually five, one, two, three, four, five love languages, and I'll tell you what they are. So
Right.
the first love language is words of affirmation. The next one is quality time.
Uh-huh.
Number three is receiving gifts. Number four is acts of
What in the
service.
world? I'm sorry, girl. A mosquito coming at me.
number number there was a mosquito, y'all. That's why and number five is physical touch. So I'll
Yeah.
say them again. So love languages, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So I want to ask this question of on Sarah first. What is your love language?
Hey, come on with it. Come on with it.
What is
Come
your
on with it.
love language?
What was number 4?
Number four is, let me go right back. Number four is acts of service. So I'll do it one more time. Words of affirmation,
Mhm.
quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch.
I'm going to say acts of service.
Okay, explain.
And I'm thinking of, as he mentioned earlier, about when I hurt, he hurts. And I've been going through some things in the past, and I may have complained or didn't want to do it. For example, with chemo, and whenever I had to go to chemo, there's certain things that I have to do to prepare for that.
Sure.
And although a lot of times I didn't want to even go or prepare, and he would do things for me that that I don't think a lot of men would do for their wives.
Mm,
And as he mentioned earlier about see how men take care of their mom.
yeah.
And I saw that in him. I saw him take care of his mom. So I know that no matter what I'm dealing with health wise, or he's there.
Yeah.
So and I don't even give it a second thought.
Mm.
Even before it happens, I know he's gonna be there. So he will do any and everything that I need or want. I mean, he provides for me. He's always provided for me and my kids, always. So I'm gonna say that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Go ahead. Go ahead and stick your chest out. Go ahead and stick your chest out. It's all right to stick your chest out. So it's gonna be the same question to
Yeah.
you.
Give me those. Give it to me again. I got caught up with what she was saying.
No worries. Five love languages. One is words of
Affirmation.
affirmation. Number two,
I,
quality time.
you can stop right there. I do words of affirmation.
Okay.
Um, um, I open my heart up and share it with my wife, and I sing to her tenderly.
Oh, hold on now. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on now. So you sing to her tenderly. I mean,
Yeah,
can you give us a couple of rounds on a song? You're gonna do that later for us?
I mean, sure. I'm working on one now and I'm working on one right as we speak. And I'm
Okay.
but when I sing to her, I tap into her heartbeat.
Oh,
And when I share my deep thoughts with her, and I don't mind, I was raised by a lot of women, so I'm emotional, and I don't mind that. I mean, I like it. I like opening up, and so
yeah.
you know, when things are going, when there's an emotional thing going on, especially like in our church, most people coming to me with the napkins because I get caught up. I got a lot of stuff that I can in my history that brings out my emotions, and I
Okay.
share that with her. And so I try to, and I do what I can to so she never have a question as to how I feel about her.
Mm, mm, mm. Listen,
She
ladies
never
and gentlemen,
she never have a question.
if you have just tuned in to Antoinette Marie Speaks, this is our Power of Love series. And if you just tuned in, I'm going to say, beloved, hashtag replay. You need to replay this entire episode 5, to make sure that you are able to get all of this greatness. We have Tommie and Sarah Pernell that has joined us as my special guests on today. And they've been married 46 years, y'all. And let me tell you, they have already given us some platinum, not even golden, they're just platinum nuggets about relationships and being able to stand the test of time. And so I definitely will say hashtag replay. Thank you, Craig. I totally agree. So thank you for sharing that. We got some more questions. Now, these are questions that people are sending me literally as we're speaking. So they are so involved in your marriage right now. And somebody just sent me a text and they said, if you want to say where you're from, that's fine. Somebody said, I want to be like them when I grow up. Oh, that's so cute.
That's sweet.
That is so sweet. So our next question is this. Would you say you are more in love today than when you first got married?
I would say today.
Yeah, I would too. It was attraction. It was that outer beauty and so forth that
Mm-hmm.
that young people are
That
attracted to.
fineness, that
Yeah.
good looking, that
She had the big fro and
Yeah.
all that. So yeah.
pretty legs, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
And,
Yeah.
and then I was challenged, like, you can't touch that. And I said, yeah, I can. So 46 years later, I've touched that. So
You touched it a couple times.
at least a couple times.
At least 3 times.
So I want to say this. I want to, we got a couple more questions, but I think this is so important. We have Angela Irvin, your niece. This was her comment. She said, the very reason why I've always admired the love you all have for one another. It's simple, beautiful, simply beautiful. When I do it again, I hope we can be like you both.
Aw. Thank you.
Lord, I did not come up on here to be doing no crying, but
I know that's right. I know
Who's
that's right.
that? Who's crying?
but if you gotta cry, I'll let it go. Listen, I'm good. I sure will let a tear out. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's nice, Angela.
I appreciate that. So this is what I call the lightning round. Lightning round is very simple. You get 5 seconds to answer the question. Only 5 seconds. And these questions will be, for an example, I might ask, let's just get into it. Okay. Uncle Tommie, what is Aunt Sarah's favorite flower? 1, 2, 3.
I say roses.
Is that correct,
Roses.
Aunt Sarah?
It is. That's all I ever get. Roses. So
Roses.
I don't know any other plant.
Okay, good job. Good job. Okay, next question.
No.
Lightning round question. Aunt Sarah,
Mm-mm.
what is your husband's favorite love song?
Oh,
5
goodness.
seconds.
Oh.
1.
Oh, he has so many of them. Something by the OJs.
Okay. What you think, Uncle Tommy?
I would actually, and she's right. A side note, the first album I ever bought for my wife was OJ's Ships of Horror in 1974. So it's probably why she thinks that is my favorite.
No, it's not. I didn't even remember that.
She don't remember. but that's been superseded. I love Lionel Richie singing Jesus is Love.
Oh.
Okay. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful. Next question. Lightning round. Uncle Tommie, what is Aunt Sarah's favorite place to vacation?
I'm not going to say the obvious answer.
No, you gotta tell
Oh,
us.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Never
Lightning.
been, never been. I'm hoping to go.
Wait, hold up now.
That's on my bucket list.
It's been registering with me for quite a while, but unfortunately, right now it's not a good time to go.
Yeah, totally
But we're
understand.
going.
Okay, so now, okay, I'm just gonna ask this question because somebody just are you kidding me? Somebody said, San Francisco, I would love to go with you. Can I go as a young couple with you both? I don't know. I'm gonna give people your information. They can do that. I don't know, whatever that is. Okay, last lightning round question. This question is for Aunt Sarah. What is your husband's favorite meal?
Oh my
Simple.
goodness.
Simple.
Every black man. Chicken. Chicken.
That's
Not just chicken, fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
fried chicken.
Oh yeah, bring it on. Bring
Fried,
that yardbird on. Bring it on.
fried chicken.
Simple
All
enough.
right. Let me see. So I'm gonna go through here and let's see if I have any questions. I gotta go up. So I want to say we have someone. We have Tracy Randolph. Thank you for joining us on tonight. We have Wesley Williams on here. Hey, Latasha. Thank you for
Tasha?
mhm, thank you for being on here. Pam. Thank you for
Pam
being
who?
on. Pamela Bowman. She's a friend. She's a friend of mine. And
Okay.
then we have Angela. She said, I've always admired the love between them both.
Oh.
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 Oh, wait a
Uh-oh.
minute. Somebody said,
Uh-oh.
that's beautiful. What a great story. Oh wait, Angela said, that's a great and beautiful story. I might follow your lead, Uncle Tommie and Aunt Sarah. Latasha said, I'll be your witness, cuz. Angela said, okay, bet.
All right.
Oh, well, right. Look at you. Well, now,
Is she trying to tell us something?
I guess she just did.
Yeah,
I guess
sounds
you
like
just
it.
did. Oh, Angela, let us know if you engaged, sugar, because we need to know. We want to know. We got Raymond Harlow from Florida. He said,
All right.
amazing conversation. Watching from Florida, communication is definitely key. We have Craig
Yes.
Wilson from watching from North Carolina. And he says, yes, he said, that's so powerful. Continue to lift up your spouse always.
Yes. Always. Yes. The operative word.
We have Shelly. Shelly's from Texas as well. So
All right.
she just said, I want to say, hey, y'all.
Hey.
Tracy is from New Jersey.
All
She's
right.
here as well. Somebody said, for the provision she presents before him. Hashtag profound statement.
Hello.
Mm.
And then someone else just said, this is so timely. This is why I do this. This is why I do this show, because over the past several years, and I'm strong doing this show for a year, you just never know who you are helping. You just never know what people are going through in their lives. And one of the things I said is that I am here to help individuals to get to where they really truly believe that they need to be. So whether that is through motivation, inspiration, just encouragement, that is my purpose for doing and having Antoinette Marie speak. Somebody else said, this is timely. You have spoken to my heart.
Ah.
Spoke about self-love,
Ah.
and I truly appreciate you both.
Ah.
Oh,
That's
thank
good
you.
to hear.
Thank you.
Wow,
Wow.
wow, wow, wow. And then somebody else came in, they said, this is some great teaching that everyone needs to learn.
Hmm. Wow.
Y'all might got y'all a show. Then someone said from your comment, Uncle Tommy, they said some good loving. I guess you said some good loving. Then they said hashtag Anita Baker.
Oh yeah.
Love her. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And then somebody else came back and they said, two complete people make a powerful partnership. Thank you for
That's
making
true.
that comment.
Thank you.
So yeah, there's so many, lots of people are just having a really, really great time and they're doing a lot of
Good.
hashtag smiles. Someone said yes. He said, yes, sir. He is also a military, retired military veteran. He
All
said,
right.
yes, sir. Listening is probably the biggest part of having a great conversation.
So true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And then,
true.
and then the same person said, I love the way he deflects the answers.
Oh, that. Come on.
And guess who else is on here?
Uh-oh.
Cynthia Gibson.
What?
Oh my goodness.
She
From
said,
Round
hey,
Rock. Hey.
yeah.
Hello, San.
So I'm not going to go through reading all of these, but I just want to say to you and from my heart to yours, I so appreciate you both being on here on today, that you were willing to open up your hearts, you were willing to open up your minds. I still have somebody just sent me another question.
Mhm.
And so I know that this at some point may have been a little bit uncomfortable, but one of the things that I do like about having a platform such as this, it allows for individuals to know that they're not in anything by themselves,
That's right.
That's right.
that
That's
someone
right.
has through something either similar
That's
to
right.
what they are going through. And
Right.
in this time that we are living in, and particularly with COVID and so on and so forth, it
Right.
gets very lonely. It can get
Mhm.
very lonely,
Right.
and many people don't have the support that they really wish that they had.
Right.
So this has been an absolutely great forum and opportunity for individuals. I have like 4 people just said hashtag replay because they came in a little bit late. And so basically what that means is that they're going to start the video from the beginning and they're going to go through it and watch it again. And we've had several people that have already shared this video. This right now, you're actually Tommie and Sarah. You're actually live on YouTube. You are live.
What?
You are live
This
on
whiskey.
YouTube.
Really?
Yes, you're live on YouTube. You are live on Facebook,
What?
and you are live on a group that's called Sister Friends United, which has over 240 members. And and you will also be on, I'm going to place it on my website as well, AntoinetteMarie.com. So if there are individuals that are out there and you want to hear more from Sir Tommie and Madam Sarah, can you let the audience know where can they reach out if they wanted to maybe have, or they had more questions that they wanted to maybe ask you, or how should they go about doing that?
Should we give them our email address, perhaps?
Sure.
You ready?
I
You
am
have-
going to be typing it in as you tell me.
Well, TLP 7 to 9 at sbcglobal.net. I repeat it.
.net.
Yeah. TLP as in my initials, 7 to 9 at sbcglobal.net.
So if you all have heard that, if you want to reach out, and I know many of you do, I would too, honestly, to be honest with you, if I, had additional questions, or if I just perhaps wanted some mentorship. Now, listen, now, yes, they are retired, but listen, if 25 or 50 or 200 y'all, listen, they can't handle 200 people, right? So be gentle. If you got a question, I'm sure you can type it into his Tommie's email, and he probably will respond to you as
I will.
sooner as he possibly can. So I'm going to say it
Absolutely.
again. T as in Tommy, L as in Lincoln, P as in Paul, 79 at S as in Sam, B as in Bravo, C as in Cat, Global, GLOBAL.net. So TLP 79 at SBCglobal.net. And I'm going to actually already put it in the comment section. So people have questions that they can feel free to email, and you will get your questions answered. And Sarah, we have some young ladies that want to reach out to you as well. Can you give me your email address?
S as in Sam, L as in Larry, P as in Peter, 2222 at AOL.com.
At AOL.com. So I'm going to say it. So S as in Sam, L as in love, P as in Peter, 2222 at AOL.com. And so that is for our women. If you have questions, if you have just something that you perhaps say, you know what, I'm not really sure how I may be able to handle this, or you just want to say hi. They have provided you with their contact information. Feel free, as they have said, feel free to shoot them an email, and then you guys and ladies just take it from there. I want to say again, thank you so much for being on today. I'm going to place you back in our green room. But before we do that, I want to say again, yay, I learned so much today. I know.
So did we. Thank you for having us. It's been a joy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you are very welcome.
We've enjoyed it. Yeah.
So sit tight. I'm going to put you back into the green room on my end, and I'll come back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So, wow. Everyone, I'm telling you, did you learn something today? Did you learn something that can, even if you're not currently married, if you're thinking about being married, if you're thinking about getting engaged, listen, I learned a lot today. I learned a lot about support. I learned a lot about making sure that I am already, complete. And I love what he said about, needing, if you got everything together, that's what I learned, these, strong women. But if you got everything together, like, why am I really here? So that stuck with me. And that's something that I got to work on that, y'all, because sometimes we as women can be so independent and, we got it all. Yeah. Listen, I'm just saying that touched me on that. So I'm so very grateful for you all to join me. Please share this video because there's so many individuals that really just need somebody to have a conversation with. And this is an opportunity for individuals to have a conversation with two individuals that have integrity, that have great morals, and really truly just want to help and to be a support for you. And so I want to say thank you for joining me. And as always, if you have a husband or you have a wife, let them know that they are important to you. And the way that you do that is by loving them. Love is not just what you say, but it is also what you do. And if you have children, let them know that they are important to you, and they are also important to your lifespan, to your life's trajectory. Give them a really strong hug. Hopefully you can do that in person, but if not, give them a virtual hug. And think about this. Instead of texting them, pick up the phone and call them. They need to hear your voice. That is very important. So I want to say to you, thank you again for joining me on the Power of Love series. This is our last night for the Power of Love series. I'm going to miss doing this, but you never know what's going to happen. You never know. This is Antoinette Marie Speaks, and I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Take care, beloved, and welcome home.
was broken, lost in translation in a whirlwind. I was tussled,